Tonight, a man from West Hartford, now living in Israel, shares the harrowing experience of his son, now missing 1 week. As Hamas terrorists closed in on him, his pregnant wife, and their children, he sprang into action. His whereabouts unknown tonight. And here at home, a Connecticut man wanted for allegedly pistol whipping his girlfriend and for violating probation is back behind bars tonight. And the winner of the 30th running of the Hartford Marathon is a man from Connecticut who overcame incredible odds and hopes to run in the Olympics next summer. But he's not the only winner.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on the CW20. I'm Carmen Chow. We begin with a developing story in New Haven right now. Firefighters rescued people and pets from a fire this evening at a building with 24 apartments. This happened around 5:30 this evening on Mansfield Street. We're told hoarding conditions inside at least one apartment may be a factor in sparking this 2-alarm blaze. One resident had to be rescued by ladder. Another one was rushed to a hospital for smoke inhalation. The building suffers significant smoke damage, but moderate overall. No word right now on the conditions of the people and 2 pets who were rescued. Fox 61 is there on the scene and will bring you updates as soon as we get them. Also new tonight, a suspect in a domestic violence assault is off the streets and behind bars. Police in Norwich spent hours overnight and again this morning looking for a 40-year-old man they described as armed and dangerous, warning the public to be on the lookout for him. They say officers caught up with Brandon McNeil at 9:20 this morning after he was spotted in the area of Boswell Avenue hiding from police. Fortunately, he was arrested without incident. McNeil is charged with assault, criminal possession of a gun, among other crimes, for allegedly pistol whipping his girlfriend in the face and head. She was taken to a local hospital for treatment. McNeil is being held on $1 million bond on top of another bond for another $1 million for violating probation. He's expected in court on Monday. Now to the latest in the war between Israel and Hamas. Tanks are on standby tonight for anticipated urban warfare in Gaza. Israel moved them into position to accompany offensive ground units that will stream across the Israel-Gaza border in search of Hamas militants and the soldiers and civilians, including Americans, that they kidnapped. We're hearing tonight about one of those potential captives, 35-year-old Sagi Dekel-Chen, who lived in a kibbutz invaded by Hamas 1 week ago today, is a father of 2 young children and expecting a third with his wife. Dekel-Chen's father is from West Hartford and lives in Israel. He joined Fox and Friends this morning to share their harrowing story.
My daughter-in-law, from behind an armored door in her home that my son put her in and locked her inside, heard an ongoing battle just outside of the door of my son doing battle in hand-to-hand combat with another young man from the kibbutz just outside the door, including gunshots and grenade explosions and you name it, with her 2 little daughters in a dark room with fires being set all around her. In that scenario, the only answer can be enormous trauma and desperate hope that we will shortly know if Sagi and the other hostages are still alive, and some hope that they'll rejoin us.
In the meantime, the European Union's foreign policy chief is urging the Israeli military to give people trying to get out of northern Gaza more time. Fox's Madeline Rivera is in Jerusalem with the latest.
It's been 1 week since Hamas' surprise attack against Israel. As the country prepares for the next military phase of the war, the UN is warning of a growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where an initial window for civilians to evacuate to the southern part of the Strip has ended.
2 days after the Israeli military called for Gazans to evacuate, hundreds of thousands are heeding that warning. The roads south packed with people trying to get out ahead of an expected ground invasion by Israel. Gaza is home to more than 2 million people. With the borders blockaded and Gaza City bombarded by constant airstrikes, Israel's neighbors are condemning the siege as a war crime.
It is a collective punishment that the international community cannot remain silent about, including food, medicine, and fuel to the people of Gaza.
The UN says nearly half of Gaza's population has been displaced and water is running out. International aid groups say the crisis will get worse, with Israel blocking the delivery of supplies from Egypt.
Life here is bad. There are no basics of life and nothing. Since we came here, our family has not had any food, no water, or anything yet.
Israel maintains it's doing the right thing by giving Gazans plenty of warning. It has long accused Hamas of using Palestinians as human shields.
We didn't put those civilians there. They are not our enemy. We are not trying to kill or injure any civilians. We are fighting against Hamas. That needs to be abundantly clear.
Meanwhile, Israel is readying its forces, calling up some 360,000 military reserves and massing troops and tanks along the border.
Israeli troops and Lebanon's Hezbollah militant group are exchanging more fire in the northern part of the country, raising fears that this conflict could spread. In Jerusalem, Madler Rivera, Fox News.
Thanks, Madeline. Coming up on Fox 61 News at 10:30, social media accounts linked to Hamas are being banned by one platform. That story still ahead. Since those militants launched a surprise attack 1 week ago, the loss of life on both sides has been staggering. Officials report over 1,300 Israelis have been killed in the past week. In Gaza, the Palestinian Ministry of Health says more than 2,000 people have been killed, and between both, reported injuries are in the tens of thousands. For hour-by-hour updates on the Israel-Hamas war and its impact here, stick with Connecticut's news station and download the free Fox 61 News app for our coverage, plus local news and weather in your neighborhood. New at 10 tonight, sad news from Hollywood. Actress Piper Laurie has died. The Oscar-nominated star of films such as The Hustler, Carrie, and Children of a Lesser God was signed to a movie contract at age 17 while still in high school in Los Angeles. She went on to star alongside Ronald Reagan, Tony Curtis, and Rock Hudson. Piper Laurie was 91. Also new tonight, Olympic gold medalist Mary Lou Retton is reported to be making remarkable progress in her battle with pneumonia. The gymnastic icon has been hospitalized in intensive care for several days, unable to breathe on her own. But today, Retton's daughter posted on Instagram that prayers have been felt and have been answered, and her breathing is becoming stronger. Now to a story you'll see only on Fox 61. All of us face challenges of one kind or another, and you may never know what your neighbor is dealing with. Tonight, meet a man in Wallingford who is overcoming a very visible medical challenge with the help of an expert team here in Connecticut. Fox 61's Jake Garcia has a story.
Beaumont Farm has brought joy to the community of Wallingford for years, even if you're passing by. The beloved life-size characters put a smile on the faces of kids both young and old. But it's all thanks to this man, Billy Beaumont. Late last month, Billy was working on the farm when he was seriously injured.
I was working on a tractor. Unbeknown to me, somehow whether it was a fuel line, I dribbled some gas on the back of my leg, never knew it. And then a little while later, I'm jump starting the tractor, and the next thing you know is it went spark, boom, up in flames.
Causing burns to his right leg. Quick actions prevented further injuries.
Grabbed a raincoat, put it out, somebody doused me with a bucket of water, and I'm like, get me to the hospital.
Billy was taken to the Connecticut Burn Center at Bridgeport Hospital to be treated, undergoing 3 skin graft surgeries. A trying time for those who work at Beaumont Farms.
The last few weeks have been tough because we missed Bill. Bill is such a huge part of this. It's not just the corner.
Once he was well enough to come home, he was welcomed in true Beaumont fashion.
He waved to us and we all stood at a distance and we were able to visit, and it was just the pure joy of knowing that he's back.
The community giving back in his time of need.
They have been fantastic. Oh my God, they're worried about me. They've been donating to me. I can't express. It's just the most wonderful thing I ever seen. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you.
Unable to work over the next few months while he recovers, the community raised more than $40,000 in less than a week.
Keeps your spirits really up there, too. Been going good with the whole thing.
This is a man who doesn't ask anything in return. He just gives and gives, and he loves the joy on people's faces. To see them give back, I can't describe that feeling. It's heartwarming, it's joyful.
People around him making sure his passion continues while he recovers. But he's excited for the day when he can return to work.
I'm doing good. I'll be fine soon.
And Billy says you can expect to see more festive displays just like this one throughout the holiday season. But here at Beaumont Farms, no matter the time of year, it's always the season of giving. In Wallingford, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Jake, thank you. The 5th annual Sakyog Harvest Festival kicked off this morning in Hartford. It was an event designed to educate and inform the community about Indigenous identity and culture. There was a mix of live performances, panel discussions, storytelling, music, and dances. We spoke to a committee member of the festival on the importance of this event.
Today's event is to showcase and highlight some of the things we thought our Indigenous people did in this area once before. Kind of reconnecting to the land in a way of knowing some of the things that they grew on this land.
The free festival was open to people of all ages and went on rain or shine.